Nephew trashed my $2,000 gaming setup, my sister refused to pay for damages, and now my family says I should apologize. I, 25F, am a student software developer and a pretty serious PC gamer in my free time. I live alone in a one-bedroom apartment that I've spent years making cozy and functional. I saved up for a long time to build my dream PC setup, triple monitors, custom mechanical keyboard, ergonomic chair, the works. Altogether, my rig is worth a bit over $2,000, and I take care of it like it's a damn child. Last weekend, my older sister, 30F, asked if she could crash at my place for one night because her apartment was being fumigated, and her husband was out of town. She has a 3-year-old son, Max, who's, let's say, spirited. I love him, but he's a little chaos goblin. I hesitated, but she swore she'd keep an eye on him and that it'd just be for one night. They show up Saturday afternoon, and immediately it's clear she wasn't kidding about Max being a handful. Within 10 minutes of arriving, he'd pulled 4 books off my shelf, thrown my houseplants on the floor, and spilled juice on my area rug. I tried to stay chill. He's 3, I get it, but I asked my sister politely to please keep him out of my office, where my PC setup is. She rolls her eyes and goes, he's just exploring, he's curious, it's normal. But she closes the office door anyway. Cut to Sunday morning. I wake up to screaming. Max had apparently woken up before his mom, managed to open the office door, and decided my setup was his new jungle gym. He pulled down one of my monitors, cracking the screen. He stuck crackers into the PC tower's ventilation slots, I'm not kidding, yanked out my keyboard's keycaps, and had colored on my chair with permanent marker. The cherry on top? He poured apple juice into the tower. Into IT, when I tell you I went silent. I mean dead silent. My sister comes in, sees the damage, and just says, "Oh no," in this incredibly flat tone, like someone knocked over a cup of coffee. I start freaking out, and she has the audacity to say, "You should have baby-proofed the room if it was that important to you." I lost it. I told her that 1, she knew he wasn't supposed to be in there, 2, this is my space, not a damn daycare, and 3, baby-proofing a $2,000 gaming setup is not a standard requirement for adults living alone. She told me to calm down and said that he's just a kid, and stuff is replaceable. I told her she could replace it then. She said she didn't have the money right now, but maybe in a few months she could give me a few hundred. I told her that wasn't acceptable and that she needed to take full responsibility. She left in a huff and now my whole family is blowing up my phone. My mom says I'm being materialistic and should understand that my nephew didn't mean it. My dad said I should have locked the door if it was that important. My brother actually said, "Why do you even need 3 monitors anyway? That's kind of overkill." I've filed a claim with my insurance but there's no guarantee it'll be covered since it was technically guest damage. I also told her that if she does not pay up, I'll take her to court for what happened. Now I'm getting texts from my sister demanding an apology for blaming her kid for being curious. I told her I'd drop it if she covered the cost of repairs and replacements, or at least met me halfway, and she blocked me. Update 1. Also, to clarify the office situation, my 1-bedroom apartment is on the smaller side, 33 square meters / 355 square feet, so the landlord converted an old ex-clothes cabinet into a makeshift office. It's weird, but the building is from the 40s, and they had to get creative with the space with an old tenant or something. So it's living room, sister and her kid slept there, plus kitchen, I slept there, plus the office. Update 2. Things are better, pretty fucking weird, and still ongoing, but here's where we're at. Last Saturday, my brother-in-law, Bill, came over to check out the damage himself. He actually brought Max, toddler, with him, which I was almost livid about at first, but he had a reason. He asked Max to try opening the office/closet door. The kid couldn't do it. The door was too heavy for him. You probably can guess where this is going. Bill offered to take my PC to the store that originally built it for me, just to see what was fixable. I agreed, but asked for something in writing just so I had some peace of mind. We put together a little agreement that he'd be responsible for it while it was with him. Yeah, it was just a formality and would not hold much merit anywhere, but it helped me feel a bit more in control. On Monday, he dropped it off at the shop and gave them my number so they could keep me updated. He also told me he confronted my sister about how things played out. I sent him my original Reddit post too. He read the comments and apparently showed them to her. She still hasn't unblocked me, and from what I've heard, was not happy about the fact my Bill is actually listening to me. I also shared the post and some comments with my parents and brother since no one really believed me before. My parents still don't fully get it, but they've at least stopped pushing back. My brother is more understanding now, though for some reason he mostly wanted to talk about how many people saw the post. I don't think either of those 3 still care, really, and I'm fine if they see this. Do better. Anyway, I went to see the PC today, Wednesday here. The shop said it's mostly salvageable. It needs a very careful internal clean and a few fans replaced, and some wiring fixed, but overall the main parts survived somehow. Bill told me he'll cover the cost of the repair, no hesitation. When I brought up what my sister said about not being able to pay even $200, he said she's lying. He also said he's not sure Max actually did all the damage. He thinks the door was left open on purpose, or that my sister might have even done some of it herself. Based on the height of the tower and where the crackers ended up, it didn't quite add up to a toddler acting alone. Apparently, she's been telling him I have a gambling addiction. I did get a bit hooked on Genshin like 4 years ago, I guess. And that maybe this whole thing will wake me up, which is new. She used to be supportive or at least indifferent. No idea where that switch came from. So yeah. That's where we're at. Thanks again to everyone who responded to the original post. Seeing how many people understood what happened really helped me hold the line with my family when I felt like I was losing my mind. One thing I've been turning over in my head lately is what if my sister did do something to my setup on purpose? I don't want to believe that, it feels like a stretch, but the more I think about it, the less so, I guess? But then I remember how she acted when I asked her to keep Max out of the office. The eye roll and the he's just curious comments like she didn't take any of it seriously? And now hearing from my Bill that she's been saying I have a crippling gambling/gaming/whatever addiction and needed to grow up? It's just weird. She used to be cool about it. Never super into games herself, but she got that it was important to me. If something changed, I don't know when or why. And if this was some weird way to make a point or teach me a lesson, that's messed up. You're not our mom. How about talking first instead of this? I don't want to jump to conclusions, but the more I think about it, the less it makes sense that Max could have done all of that alone. It's sick if she blamed her own son for it. So yeah. Not accusing anyone outright, but that thought is there now. Update 3. A few weeks ago, I made a post, not here, about how my sister's toddler, 3M almost destroyed my PC setup. Long story short, she and her son were staying with me for one night. He got into my office, and the whole setup got wrecked with juice and cracker bits shoved into the tower. The situation was awful, and when I asked my sister for help covering the damage, she made an excuse and blamed me instead. It became whole family drama. My sister blocked me and acted like the whole thing was my fault, but her husband, my Bill, reached out on his own. He checked the damage himself, helped take the PC in for repairs, and ended up covering the costs because he was genuinely embarrassed by the way she acted. He even started questioning whether their toddler could have done that much damage on his own, especially after the kid couldn't even open the door by himself. My Bill thought maybe my sister left it open or did something herself. Within a week of that, my Bill confronted her and well, she kicked him out of the house. Like, full on, told him to get the hell out, packed up his things, dumped them and left them by the curb like he was a stray dog. He told me she screamed that he was betraying her and taking the side of that fucking Reddit bitch, meaning me. She also apparently accused him of conspiring and cheating on her with me to humiliate her publicly, which, what? She hasn't let him see their kids since. No visits. No phone calls. She's gone full black hole mode and is completely unreachable, threatening cops if he goes near. She's blocked me, my brother, even some extended family, and is only talking to our parents, who are still enabling her, but I think it's only so they can keep Max at arm's length. Meanwhile, I'm hearing rumors she's been telling people I'm unhinged, psychotic, and that I made the whole thing up. She told one of our cousins that I lured her kid into the office like some kind of trap or setup. I don't know if this is postpartum related, or if something snapped, or if she's just always been this vindictive and I didn't want to see it. But I'm scared. Scared for her kid. Scared for her husband. And yeah, I'm also scared for myself, because if she's willing to ruin her whole marriage and turn the family against me just to protect a lie? My parents want to keep it under wraps, but I know my Bill wants to get her help. I want to get her help too, but I don't know where to start or what to do. What can I start with to possibly push her towards someone who can help her out? Has someone here dealt with a situation like this before? I feel helpless, as I know she is an adult and has free will, but I fear for her safety and my nephew's safety as well. My Bill voiced wanting to divorce her and told my parents he will get his son whether they approve or not. His side of the family is furious with mine and I've no idea where I stand because yeah, I guess I started this. Is this salvageable? If so, how? Update 4, well, believe it or not, things have gotten weirder, messier, and, if I'm honest, more what the hell than I thought possible. I'm writing this update partly because I need to just process everything, and also because at least a few people keep asking what on earth happened next. Strap in, it's a lot. Stuff you probably want to hear, new stuff, basically all red flags and some O_O plot twists. Buckle up. First, my Bill wasn't kidding about the whole divorce/getting his son thing. He moved out for real, crashed with his brother, and, with my encouragement, contacted a family lawyer. My parents had gone from let's not escalate things to quietly panicking, because my sister had apparently gone even further off the grid, changing her phone number, not answering her door, not letting anyone babysit, nothing. The weirdest thing is, she did get her own lawyer. I only know this because my parents broke down and admitted that she asked them for money. They refused, for once, specifically to sue for harassment, invasion, and slander, I guess, against me, my Bill, and Reddit? Unclear. I have not been formally served, and 2 lawyer friends I consulted told me it's likely bluster, but the fact that she called a family law office at all is worrying. For about a week, my whole extended family group chat, which is usually a ghost town, turned into an absolute war zone. Like, everyone suddenly wanted a piece of the drama pie. My cousin Jen, the only person louder than me and someone who actually works with Child Protective Services, though thank God not in our state, straight up told my parents to stop enabling the weird lockdown and start documenting everything. Jan and my bill coordinated and actually got a wellness check done on my sister and Max. The authorities went to her apartment, she answered, obviously stressed and frazzled, but Max was safe and looked okay, if a little overstimulated. She threatened to report anyone who called again, but the record exists now. This is when something cracked open. My uncle, my mom's brother, who used to be tight with my sister, called me out of nowhere and started apologizing for taking her side. He said no one believed it could get this bad and that apparently my sister started calling him, rambling about how we're all conspiring, how I'm a gambling addict who rigs evidence, and how Max remembers everything and is helping her build a case. That would be troubling, except, well, Max is 3 and mostly talks about Paw Patrol. Next thing? Last Friday afternoon, I come home from work and there's a plain white envelope shoved under my apartment door. No stamp, nothing, just op scrawled in marker. Inside, 3 printed pages, a rambling, all caps letter from my sister. She says she's banishing me for being a corrupting influence, says she's spoken to authorities, says my bill is brainwashed, and tells me not to contact her or Max ever again. There's also a home-printed screenshot of my Reddit post with lines highlighted, and the sentence, "You admit this was a trap," circled in thick black ink. I swear to God, the only trap is the one I set for Cheddar Bay biscuits at Red Lobster. But here's the part that actually threw me. In the letter, she said if anything happens to me, everyone will know who to blame. She wrote it, 3 times. My heart dropped. That's not just angry, that's troubled. I called my parents. My dad immediately showed up that night and we went back through the messages and the letter. Even he agreed it was not normal and that they need to step in before this turns into a Dateline thing. Yeah, Dad, it's past Dateline. Here's the best weird twist. Max's preschool teacher, who, off and on, I've said a polite hello to at family pickups when I helped babysit, apparently got in touch with my bill. She checked in worriedly, because Max has been talking a lot at school about the monster in the computer and asking teachers to baby-proof everything or it all goes bad. The kid's scared, clearly. She asked if anyone at home had been sick, since Max started acting out, throwing things, hiding food in odd places, refusing to sleep, after the office incident. So, finally someone with actual childcare experience, not just family drama experience, went on record. She suggested that my sister get assessed for postpartum OCD or psychosis. No one knew she'd had anything resembling symptoms, but she did have a really tough C-section with Max and never seemed to get real support. My Bill, innocent man that he is, got in contact with a mental health social worker. I'm not sure if anything will stick, but the machinery is, finally, turning. Apparently, documenting enough danger or instability can justify an emergency custody review. Again, not sure what'll come of it, but he's on it. Okay, maybe not as world-shaking, but my PC is working again. Turns out, it needed more than just fans. My GPU was just salvageable, though, and the crunchy sound when the tower turned on was so many cracker fragments, you could almost make a meal. My Bill insisted on buying me a new keyboard. The keys are all sticky from the marker still, just let me do this, and also replace the monitor. He gave me a handwritten note apologizing for all the stuff he can't fix. I cried. Like, actual tears. The man is a saint. I also changed my locks and added a real bolt to the office/closet. Because, yeah, never again. So, my apartment's secured. My PC's mostly restored. I'm keeping all the records, messages, the letter, the screenshots, even the cracker bits. My parents are, at long last, paying attention. My Bill is documenting everything for court. My family is split, but the ones who matter are actually listening. And my poor nephew is, well, I'm hoping he gets more stability soon. As for my sister, she's spiraling, and it seems less like pure vindictiveness now, and more like some mental health break that's gotten worse the more she's lost control. For her sake, and especially for Max, I hope she gets help. I'm not sure I'll ever get my sister back, though. If you're dealing with something remotely similar, document everything. Don't let your family guilt you into silence. And if Reddit tells you you aren't crazy, believe them. And, most importantly, never underestimate what can happen when just one night becomes the night everything breaks loose. TLDR, sister fully cut off everyone, except my parents, delivered unhinged letters, accused me of wild things. Cousin called in a wellness check, Bill got a lawyer, family war broke out. Max is showing real stress, but teacher picked up on it and got proper authorities involved. PC is mostly fixed, I have a new keyboard and monitor thanks to Bill. My sister needs serious help, and professional intervention is finally, maybe, in motion. My locks are changed and my Office of Doom is officially banned for anyone under 18 forever. I'm sticking by Max, and, weirdly, my Bill, no matter what. Will this story ever stop? Who knows? If it does, you'll hear about it. God, I hope it does. Update 5. If someone had told me 6 months ago that a broken PC would lead to police, child welfare, private investigators, and family secrets detonating like a Black Friday PS5 launch, I'd have laughed. Now, after this week, I feel like the only one not laughing. Still, if you've stuck with my saga this long, you deserve to know how deep the weird rabbit hole goes. Here's what's new, and yes, it's a lot. Last Monday, my parents, Bill, and I met with the social worker who'd been looped in via Max's preschool. She'd managed to arrange a home visit under the pretext of following up on Max's escalating behavior at school, the hiding food, the monster in the computer, and now some biting and tantrums so bad he was sent home twice last week. What finally got the wheels moving was the teacher's journal. On 3 different occasions, Max told her, "The computers bite you, don't open the door or the juice gets you." Preschoolers say weird stuff, but the repetition set off alarms. The meeting was beyond tense. The social worker went to my sister's apartment that afternoon, unannounced, bringing my parents along so my sister wouldn't refuse to open the door. I stayed in the car with Bill, but he called me on speaker so I heard everything. The quick and dirty, my nephew was glued to her phone, watching a YouTube playlist of weird Cocomelon remix videos. The curtains were drawn, and my sister told the social worker point blank that the entire family was plotting to have her committed. She said I was addicted to online gambling and secret dark web gaming and that Max was being coached against her by us and by his own teachers. Somehow, the social worker kept her composure and got my sister to agree to a voluntary psych evaluation later that week. She threatened to rescind unless my parents swore, on their house, apparently, to keep me and Bill away. After she signed, she promptly unsigned, ripped up the forms, stormed into her bedroom, and locked the door with Max inside. The social worker called her supervisor. My parents cried. Bill slammed his fist into the car dashboard. A follow-up visit is scheduled next week, but now, things are officially being documented and escalated. Bill's lawyer is now all in on the custody case after reviewing the banishment letter my sister shoved under my door. The lawyer said it reads like someone in crisis, possibly with delusions, and is now pressing for emergency temporary custody, especially as Max's teacher provided written statements about his distress and regression. But this is where things get uncomfortable. While gathering paperwork for his case, Bill found a second notebook in my sister's storage unit. She'd apparently been journaling about evidence against me for at least 4 months. Most of it is incoherent, lists of passwords, long rants about keyboard gambling hacks, even truly bonkers stuff like Op keeps food in her PC for Max to find and juice equals proving guilt. She named members of our extended family as co-conspirators. There's an entire page, in neat handwriting, where she lists things that can destroy a family and number one is envy. Bill gave the whole thing to his lawyer. But the most chilling entry? "If they push me, I'll show them what real chaos is." I had to sit down after reading that. Meanwhile, my dad dropped a bombshell at family dinner. Apparently, our grandmother, my mom's mom, had severe untreated postpartum psychosis after her last child, my aunt, who spent most of her adult life in assisted living after a breakdown at 34. No one ever discussed this with us kids. My dad said it skipped a generation. My mom has stopped defending my sister and is actively helping Bill build the custody case. She hasn't slept well in days. This part is straight up surreal. Early Thursday morning, my video doorbell pinged me while I was showering for work. I checked and, no joke, my sister is on the camera feed. Hoodie up, sunglasses on, shuffling from foot to foot. She tries the doorknob, locked, then crouches down, shoves something, looked like a padded envelope, under the door, and books it. I called my brother, he lives 2 blocks over. By the time he reached me, she was gone. Inside the envelope? 3 things, a Ziploc baggie of cracker bits, crushed, damp, probably left over from that day, one of my missing keyboard keycaps, the F12, which, if you know, you know, a handwritten receipts list that says, among other things, "You'll never convince them you're not lying." I have proof. Enough. That's it. No threats, but the implication was clear. I filed a police report, not because I wanted to get her in trouble, but because if things escalate I want everything officially documented. That afternoon, I bought and installed a wireless security system that even my local cop friend said was overkill but smart. I shared the footage with my parents and my Bill, who thanked me and immediately sent it to his lawyer. After the break-in attempt, Bill, who, until now, was dragging his feet on the nuclear option, applied for an emergency restraining order against my sister, on behalf of both Max and himself. He used the notebook, the envelope, the banishment letter, the teacher's report, and my video footage as evidence. My parents, for the first time, agreed to co-sign. My cousin Jen, child welfare superhero, spent Saturday with Bill compiling every text, DM, and email. There's a hearing in 2 weeks for both custody and the order. Meanwhile, Bill has had Max for 4 straight overnights. My sister handed him over during a brief lucid stretch, sobbing and apologizing to Bill but not allowing me to see Max or speak to her. He is signing Max up for counseling. My PC, bless its cyborg heart, is chugging along fine. The only lingering evidence, the faint scent of juice, the markered M on the chair, the F12 key, which I've now superglued. I started therapy. My parents have apologized repeatedly for minimizing things. My cousin and little brother are helping me log everything. My Bill says if, he gets full custody, I'll always have a place in Max's life, as long as no computers are involved, for a while. I haven't responded to my sister's envelope or tried to reach her. She needs help only professionals can provide, and I've had to accept love can't fix everything. Action and boundaries have too, sometimes. Family is a messy, brutal, mysterious business, and sometimes a $2,000 gaming setup really is the iceberg for something deep, generational, and painful. Social worker and school officially flagged my sister. Wellness and psych evils ongoing. Bill plus lawyer moving for emergency custody and restraining order with mountain of documented evidence. Family secrets about maternal mental illness emerged, shifting my parents' perspective. Sister tried to confront me at home. Creepy envelope plus video evidence. I filed police report and upped security. Max with Bill, in counseling, custody hearing soon. My family is splintered, but real help has finally arrived. My PC is alive, but that juice smell will outlive me. I'm in therapy, more grateful for my cousin and Bill than ever, and finally sleeping. If you ever feel crazy for trusting your instincts, or for believing patterns you're told are no big deal by family, don't. Keep your receipts, your security tight, and your boundaries clearer than 4K, no matter who calls you paranoid. Update 6. So, I sort of thought things might finally, be settling into regular dysfunction instead of chaos tornado mode. But apparently, I was living in a fantasy novel, because this week delivered the most unexpected, and for once, not all catastrophic, twists yet. Here's what happened since the custody hearing and the envelope incident. Buckle up. This journey is basically The Last of Us, Family Edition. Let's start with the big one, the court date. I was only there being the most fluorescent light dysphoric courthouse I've ever encountered, as a potential witness, but no one knew if my sister would show up. I wasn't sleeping much that week, and the night before was even worse. I'd hear every distant bang thinking it was her trying my door again, even though the security system, and, hilariously, my brother who insisted on a stakeout in my guest chair, was on high alert. She arrived, late, looking just wrong. Gaunt, twitchy, sunglasses indoors, her lawyer trailing, and clearly exasperated. She brought Max, who looked more like a sleep-deprived anime raccoon than the Chaos Goblin preschooler he once was. My Bill picked him up gently, and for a split second, my sister just stared at us all like she was walking through a dream. The hearing itself was brutal. My Bill's lawyer, who has the demeanor of a friendly shark, presented everything: the letter, the notebook, my security footage, Max's teacher's reports, and, yes, even that little ziploc of cracker dust. The judge read portions aloud. My sister visibly flinched at the "if anything happens to me, everyone will know who to blame" line. When my cousin Jen from Child Services testified, zoom in, complete with file folders and CPS acronyms I didn't even know existed, the judge made a note: pattern of escalating instability, recommends professional evaluation and interim safety plan for the child. My parents both spoke, Dad, measured, Mom, heartbreak in her voice. Then it was my sister's turn. Her lawyer tried to pivot the case, emphasizing privacy violations, family stress, and character assassination. But when my Bill's lawyer brought up the break-in and the threat evidence, the judge finally put her pen down. For the first time in months, my sister didn't rage. She just crumbled. She started sobbing, like 13 tissues later, lighting up the room sobbing. She said she didn't recognize herself, that she missed her son, and that she hadn't felt safe in weeks. By the end, the judge issued a temporary restraining order for both my Bill and Max, with professionally supervised visits only, and scheduled a full psychiatric evaluation. Max is staying with my Bill for now. My sister was ordered into an outpatient assessment with reporting requirements just to see her son. Big, huge breath. I admit, on the subway home, I ugly cried so hard a stranger left a protein bar and tissues on the seat next to me. Max, now that he's not in hermit mode anymore, is basically decompressing in real time. He's obsessed with my cat, and, per Bill's rules, is allowed gentle supervised computer fun, read, Pajama Sam, not Fortnite. His new favorite game? Typing out his name and making keyboard rainstorm sounds. The only time he talks about the monster in the computer is when he laughs at my silly anti-juice shield, a literal piece of Tupperware covering my tower's USB ports. My Bill, exhausted but lighter, is getting serious about therapy, for him and for Max. He told me that, for the first time, he doesn't feel like he's walking on eggshells or fighting against a ghost. He's still living with his brother but has put a deposit on a 2-bedroom. My parents, and, wild card, my aunts, are collaborating for the first time since the Carter administration, helping with Max, checking in daily, and, this is huge, going to a family counseling group. My dad even apologized for letting things get silenced, which seemed to lift something off my mom's chest. My cousin Jen is basically family MVP, hand-holding us through every legal and emotional hoop and teaching me to maintain a fuck you folder. Her term, I swear, a file for everything, in case anything ever goes sideways. Yesterday, a real letter arrived, snail mail, not chucked under a door. The handwriting was shaky but familiar. This time, it was lucid. She apologized for the machine stuff, for hurting me, literally wrote, I let myself believe things that weren't true because I was scared. You didn't set me up. I know Max was just curious and I was supposed to be the adult. She wrote that she hadn't slept for weeks, that the thought spirals got worse at night, and that she misses her old self and her sisters, yes, plural, which I'm choosing to interpret metaphorically, since I only have one. She asked me to look after Max's computer curiosity and promised that when she's well enough, she'd like to talk face to face, but that she understands if I never want to see her again. I sobbed. I scanned it, sent it to my Bill and my parents, and am keeping the original in, you guessed it, my fuck you folder. A minor subplot. Apparently, our saga is now legendary building gossip, as at least 3 neighbors, who previously thought I was the nice computer girl or, according to Mrs. Tegan 2B, the hacker who runs a casino, have asked if the little boy is okay or whether that strange woman is coming back. Good times. I keep it short, everyone's getting help, thanks for looking out. I could write a sitcom pilot about them, honestly. My brother who originally sneered why do you need 3 monitors? Now texts me at least twice a week apologizing, and, hilariously, just asked how to fix his own mini mechanical keyboard. Family therapy is a trip. Apparently the real generational curse is bottling up anything remotely inconvenient until it implodes into someone's $2,000 RTX powered fortress. The juice smell is now finally gone. My gamer child setup has no more forbidden crumbs. I got a novelty keycap for F12, bright orange, with a little juice box illustration. Every time I press it, it's a weird reminder. Things can be broken, unbroken, and weirdly, sometimes stronger than before. My sister is getting serious, real help. Max is safe, with his dad, and steadily working through his fears with professionals, preschool, and an absurd number of goldfish crackers. My family is, staggeringly, a little closer, if warier and more honest. My PC, and little home office, are mine again. And me? Therapy, boundaries, and the realization that sometimes the biggest monsters aren't in your computer but the silences you're told to swallow.